Hello and welcome back. This is session 6 of the Sophisticated Murder Hobos in the Ashes of War campaign. And normally we would begin with a recap of what happened in session 5, but this week is a very special week because we're going to do what's called a trait vote. And in a trait vote, each character gets voted a new trait, or they get a trait that they have voted off. Would anyone like to go first? Otherwise, I'm just gonna pick somebody.
I would like to question our good friends, Aerith's traits about cooking.
I don't have any traits about cooking.
Traits about cooking. I guess by association then, Aerith is on the block for the vote first.
Okay.
I believe there is a trait for a sense of taste or smell.
So while your reputation has been of high culinary expert, I believe your performance has been lacking salt.
Lacking salt.
I get 4 successes on your obstacle 1 cooking, and you're saying my cooking's bad?
I think he says it lacks
I think that's
substance.
been the not bad, but it's just been
Not bad.
hasn't lived up. Yeah, it's been not bad, right?
Just not bad.
Or is Ian mistaking this?
I am insulted.
I mean, the truth is in the eye of the beholder.
I mean,
Yes.
Flowertop did
Leone
kind of
Leone needs a refreshment of what's in his eye.
put the cards out there that they have magic.
Well, that's different.
So Flowertop isn't exactly completely useless.
True. You do have magic.
Who has magic?
Flowertop.
Flowertop.
Is that my new name?
Only if you respond to it.
We could say they have the trait flower power.
Is that a trait?
I was saying colorful.
Colorful?
Let's look at that.
Oh, we don't have to stick to the book per se.
We don't have to stick to the book, per se. Colorful
I think
is
it's
a character trait.
I think it's a +1.
It's just
Something.
it's just a character trait.
Yeah.
Colorful. Take that as you will, or twist it to the circumstance as you will. So there's colorful.
He poops rainbows.
There's
Means
I haven't
elf.
seen
Haven't
anything
seen-
that merits the unicorn turd effect in recent gameplay. So there's affinity for cooking. There's keen taste. We could also go with something not in the book like exotic palate, because he's cooking kind of in the style of his people. That's why it tastes a little off to you, perhaps.
It's not my fault. You Westerners have bad taste.
Especially if you use your infallible elven logic.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's never enough vinegar in his food.
I could just slice a pickle.
What are you trying to do? Recreate
And-
your first lover's taste?
He would think it'd be a Michelin star cuisine.
Do we have any other nominations for traits for Aerith?
Definitely cooking.
Something cooking
Something
related.
cooking related.
There's also affinity for cooking or affinity for food. Or on the negative side, we could go with fear of cheese, because Aerith has not used any cheese in his cooking to my knowledge.
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Cheese is like... Why wouldn't I use it?
Oh, what, cheese?
I already used
All right.
dairy in multiple stages.
Okay, no fear of cheese, got it. Okay.
Tea
Interesting.
and coffee.
Interesting.
Are you afraid of cheese?
No.
So if I rigorously present a
How
wheel of cheddar to
exotic of
you,
you.
The other connotations that it brings.
can you repeat the question for the class?
Yes, please do.
I missed it entirely, Jade.
I said, how exotic of you.
Oh.
Esoteric cuisine or palate.
Esoteric cuisine. What?
That I think that would be.
I mean, as long as you can cook whatever Rockface here throws at
I'm
you.
not sure I'm preparing like a rice patty with a miniature living octopus on it. I think that would be esoteric.
For your people, perhaps.
For most,
Food is an art form.
it is, and I'm willing to do art, but I'm finding the definition of esoteric.
So be it. You guys tell me, because on the plate we have affinity for cooking or food, keen taste,
Flower power.
flower power, which I
Don't understand, but
don't
whatever.
understand
No,
that
that
either.
was-
Was that a gag nomination?
Yeah, that was not an actual number.
Okay.
And colorful.
Exotic palette and colorful. Do we want to dig up any others, or should we just put it to a vote?
I think exotic palette are.
I mean, exotic for him. Maybe not exactly other people, but.
Well, yeah, he has an exotic palate.
Or I say affinity for cooking, just so that maybe we can get some decent tasting things out of weird materials.
Apparently,
You
it's
win
been
grades.
good. It was not for us. We like chicken fingers. He's cooking lamb.
It's food.
I'm cooking barrel mets.
Okay, so in favor of keen taste.
I'm on the fence.
Okay, we've got one for keen taste. Are you voting for keen taste or not?
I would agree. I'm on the fence, kind of.
Okay, so one for keen taste. Affinity for food or cooking? Nothing. Okay.
They're literally the one doing all our cooking. Of course.
You didn't put your hand
taste.
up.
Exotic palate.
Yeah.
Well,
So 2 votes.
Okay, exotic
No.
palate has it then.
Okay. You, sir, have an exotic palate.
what does that mean?
It's a
Indeed.
It's a new
it's a
character.
character it's a character trait.
It's like if someone's cooking you Indian every day and you don't like Indian.
Ugh. I don't know. I probably can't have it.
You just can't have the spices.
I can have the spices, so I went no.
So, next, Leone.
Glib.
Cowardly.
Okay.
Not cowardly, he just.
Whoa.
He glib.
In my character's eyes, running away.
Yes, it is. On page 327, character is a believable storyteller. Manner and expressions are earnest and appropriate. This trait is a call-on for soothing platitudes, falsehood, and seduction.
That's pretty good, actually.
Name it.
I seen cowardly. From my character's perspective, he runs away a lot.
From your character's perspective, everyone is cowardly.
Okay, cowardly.
Well,
Not the most flattering character trait, or die trait, pardon me.
But
Cowardly.
I would accept that.
Characters will not willingly put themselves at bodily risk and tend to run from danger, or at least be conveniently absent, +1 to hesitation. So, do we have any other nominations? We've got glib and cowardly.
That beats all my other nominations
Oh.
by, like,
Significantly?
yeah.
Okay, all for cowardly. 1,
I better vote for my own, right?
For Glib.
Glib.
Glibs have it. Then for Crag.
Glory Hound.
Glory Hound. Any others?
I've had 0 glory.
But you have hounded for it.
I will also nominate Petty.
I wanted Iron Stomach.
Okay, an
Ooh.
Iron Stomach. Okay. So we've got 3 nominations and 3 voting players.
I was gonna call on a trait for, in fact, basically stinky, which
Okay.
is a
Call on for conspicuous.
either that or
Stinky though, isn't I quite clean because of my skin issues?
your skin issues.
Orcs get itchy skin if they don't bathe at least every 5 days.
And he has pristine
Usually
skin.
more because of their high metabolism and their high testosterone production. They're prone to skin problems if they don't bathe.
It's just the flatulence then.
And the, pickle pits.
And the pickle pits. So we can also go with flatulent,
I mean, I had the most ideas written down for Crag.
pickled. That is in there. So
Pickled is in there?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my.
And then
I also had
Iron
complaining.
Stomach.
Iron Stomach.
They can endure stomach turning gross out. Just, yeah.
It's peachy keen.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I did chop up someone and throw them on the grill.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so since we have, I'm probably going to have to vote in this one. We've got 5 traits and 4 voters. So the
Oh, you must pursue the unhealthy lifestyle in game.
What is that?
Oh,
for Iron
Pickled.
Stomach or
No, for pickled.
Pickled.
What is the unhealthy lifestyle?
Pickles. This character may ignore all starting health penalties for having an unhealthy lifestyle and whatnot, but this character must pursue the unhealthy lifestyle in the game.
so probably living in the gutter or drinking too
That
much.
does not sound like Crag. Crag is much too disciplined a soldier. 'Cause of
Or
his
in this
background.
case, eating the worst food that will not help you.
But that's
normal.
normally
again,
that's
that's
orc
Iron
normal.
Stomach.
Yeah, I'm with the iron stomach on that one. Yeah.
Okay,
But it's
so
also orc normal.
all right, so the limit for one vote, you can vote for more than one trait, and we'll see if there's any ties for votes. So starting with Iron Stomach.
I'm
Iron
seconding
stomach.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
3. Wow, that might be it. Pickled. Flatulent.
I mean, yeah, but I mean iron stomach.
Petty. And Stinky. Do
Flatulent.
we need to go with Petty? Or because it seemed like we had
I think he's spiteful, not petty, and the Iron Stomach works better. For
We'll
his-
get to know him
his
a little
character
more.
trait.
Yeah, we'll stick with iron
And the
stomach.
last one is Stinky. But it seems like we really like Iron Stomach. So the Iron Stomach has it. And that is a die trait, I think.
Call on for fort tests against illness or poison.
Call on. And then last and most, Pocket.
Oddly likable.
Oddly likable. Next,
Peacekeeper.
Let's say
Peacekeeper.
diplomat.
Yeah.
I tried.
Either,
it just
either
don't turn out
terminology.
very well.
Either terminology, but same. Yeah.
Is Peacekeeper a trait in here?
Did
Say my rules have
Peacekeeper
been
or you-
horrible.
diplomat is it?
diplomat, maybe. Same
No, it
thing.
isn't.
Mm, I do not see Peacekeeper in here. Diplomat.
Is neither in here. But
Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, So Peacekeeper would be a character trait if voted on. All right, so all in favor of Peacekeeper. 1, 2, 3. All in favor of oddly likable.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Oddly likable?
Oddly likable.
Oddly likable.
Okay.
And let's see, that is a
Character trait.
character trait, normally for dwarves. No matter how outrageous his deeds or words, there's just something about this dwarf that's charming and likable. Dwarf, hobgoblin,
Same
still
thing.
odd, but strangely likable. Oddly, if you will. Right on. Okay. Congratulations on completing the first trait vote of the campaign.
Yay, no one died.
No one died yet. So, today is, by the human calendar, sorting day, the 6th day of the week. The second week of Talanochus, which is the 12th month of the year. The year is 796. It is late winter. For the elves, it's the 86th day of winter, and the year 18,033. And for those that follow the goblin calendar, it's the middle of the third moon cycle in the year 3117. For a fate point, who would like to remind us what happened in session 5?
So, and I am lacking in a few details, so I won't complain if somebody else interjects now and then. We had found the humans within the woods.
The wood humans?
The southwestern ones,
Mhm.
with all the swamps and the shit.
Okay.
Originally just a group of, like, gatherers that we scared off because they thought we were orc spies. Because, you know, we have orcs in the back of the wagon.
She never found out.
Yeah. But we managed to hound them all the way back to our big encampment of, like, a lot of people. We met Lord Nelson, and he was not the guy in charge. He was, like, closer to second command. I forget the lady's name. So it's close enough. Yeah. But we're like, hey, you should come back to Siren and, like, be friends. Like, it's awesome. We took it from the orcs. We're populating. And she's like, interesting. How many people do you have? And we're like, yeah, we have, you know, people there. And she was like, how's the walls? We're like, yeah, there's a hole in the wall. So she's like, okay, we're arresting you, and we're gonna go invade. Fuck you, bye. That's how it went, by the way.
Thanks for
I'm
all
not
the fish, by
exaggerating.
the way.
Yeah. But,
Luckily, someone pulled off that they were some kind of elven diplomat who could be on their side.
I did my first lie of the campaign.
Here
I
she
had
bought it.
convinced... I'm pretty sure I convinced Lord Nelson that I was an elven diplomat, and that I answered to a retinue of, like, elven spearsmen who were willing to aid them. And so it's like, okay, yeah, and they let us go so I can report to my commander. Of course, I made up my commanders. We just ran away and reported to the Viceroy Velthuria.
That's right.
That they are under threat of imminent siege. Then the siege happened. It was glorious.
You guys prepared first.
We prepared really well.
You did.
Move some boulders. Talk to some people.
Summoned a giant plant face on the wall.
Hey, I did a Halloween tree and that was awesome.
It was awesome. It was really impressive. Very vegan.
Rawr.
The siege went... It was kind of sketchy to start, because we had the clear advantage, and yet within, like, the first volley, we were cut down to the equal disposition to our attackers. But, with a change of strategy, Pocket had not only managed to incapacitate and kidnap one of their, you know, the enemy leaders, but she had managed to do so to 3 of them. I'm pretty sure it was 3. She got us a lot of fucking prisoners.
I'm did. I was taking prisoners left and right.
I am scared of Pocket now.
Yep.
Oh, your person betrayed us. The
Oh yeah.
Arnan, the merchant,
Smuggler.
betrayed
Oh, the
us.
woman?
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, I helped the fighting by trying to fix people's weapons, and then when that didn't work out, I brought people back to life.
That you did.
Magics.
You
Or rather-
revealed your magics.
Yes.
You undeaded them.
I was born on the verge of death, but a little snap of the fingers, and I got back up right as rain.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately got to put that to use, gaining the favor of the Viceroy Velthuria by flash healing one of our prisoners
Yep.
that Pocket had mortally wounded.
Really bad.
Yep.
I mean, they were alive.
Yeah. And required treatment. Administered treatment. Yeah. And the last thing, Velthuria said to us was, I really want those goblins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's where we ended off.
Yep, that's where you ended off. She said, you kind of sold me on them. They sound pretty capable. So where are they? So, a fate point for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the recap.
I do my best sometimes.
Sometimes, from time to time, you try.
Long night has come and gone, and we are now looking for the goblin tribes.
That you are.
Right, well, what would be the best incentive to bring with us for the goblins?
Probably necessary supplies like food and stuff if we want to get on their good side, but I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be really hard getting on their good side.
I think the hardest part of this is actually finding them. It won't matter what we bring them if we can't find the goblins to bring things to.
I mean, some decent tracking.
We failed miserably at last
I
time.
should be able to hopefully find them.
And now that the trail has gone twice cold.
But it is a large group. We are talking about large number, and no matter how hard you try, there's still gonna be refuse or snap twigs or something.
Been a full season plus, so they've probably moved 4 times since then.
They'll probably try to make their way back to the mountains. And that's the most logical way for them to go. But they don't have, like, a great one, so.
Do you remember where they were?
In the ravine. To the woods to the
It was the first group we went and seen.
northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we had some indication they headed north.
I can't remember.
I'm not
found
sure we
tracks.
actually had an indication of where they went because a failed tracking roll and clever convincing, I led you on like a goose chase to the south so we can get things done.
Pass
Yeah.
those for a sec.
But logically,
Yeah.
You can have them for 5 seconds if you would like. Or 20.
Thank you.
Or 15.
I think the most logical thing was that they might follow the ravine because that's natural, like just
Yeah.
basically natural architecture.
Do we know of any abandoned city structural places in that general direction that they would have maybe gone to?
Oh, secondary note. We had made the suggestion that a group of people go up and hold one of the mansions there near the quarry for a place of operations for when we go to take the quarry back.
And when we talked about that, it was revealed to you that the quarries were under control of the orcs of Ardara. Still.
Yeah.
Um,
But they were going to take that mansion or whatever was like close, and they were going to use that as a center of operations.
So I think House Nitterdran is the one that had the mansion that was in the southwest woods
And they were
Yeah.
going to use that for like,
for training.
and like central operations for them to take over before anybody else could, so that they had a point of contact. Like for when we go, if we go to take over the quarry, they have a base of operations at the mansion already set up. It was one of the last conversations we had.
What would stop it from being attacked, though?
It was in May. I was just suggesting it. They
So
get a place situated.
let's see. Ardara is over here.
That was a
Yeah.
viceroy thing.
The manor is over here in the southwest woods.
That's like way over here.
Yeah.
Farther than we are.
Right,
Yeah.
but they were gonna bring supplies and men and
But it's a further
Use that.
distance than where we currently are.
Can
away
I
from.
borrow that for a sec? So, there's Ardara. Their manor's somewhere in here. So basically, I remember the conversation you're talking about, and that was basically them. Why do you have a roll of toilet paper on the table?
To blow my nose with.
Let's see. Okay. You bear your toilet paper proudly, please. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't mean to shame you.
let your 2-ply flag fly.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were gonna leave it out a little so it
Oh
would fly.
no. There we go.
Right. So basically, that was a compromise because moving that amount of soldiers inside the walls would put a further logistical strain versus they had a mechanism to gather food and prepare it and store it, especially over the winter. So
How close is that?
Over here. It's like a month away,
That's in the south.
right?
southwest woods.
Okay. And where did we first see goblins at?
Up here.
So it would not be a far stretch if the goblins have scouts and parties and seen them all take off out of their manor and moved in when they moved out.
They didn't all move out though. There's still a huge force there.
So it goes back to, where do you think the goblins are, and how would you like to find them?
I think the goblins are on
Goblin.
the same planet as us.
I mean, I'll try tracking anew
Where are you trying to track them? Like
from the ravine. The easiest way to go.
from the ravine in the westwoods. So you're starting back over from the last time that you actually saw
them. Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Sounds like a fine plan.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before
ask
we
your
get
question.
there,
Since the cat is out of the bag, is there divination magic?
So I don't have any rules written for divination magic. However, if there's something that you want to do, we can talk about it.
Astrology.
Astrology.
Is astrology the one that either adds a
So that's only when it's helping that it adds a wild card die.
Yeah, a die of fate, basically. That it's an exploding 6 die or an open 6 die, but
Also an open 1 die.
an open 1 die.
that's why
It will take another success with it if it rolls a 1.
that's okay.
So let's see here.
Uh,
Astrology.
I was just making sure I was thinking of the right thing.
As much as I love time with my acquaintances, I do not feel like trekking through a ravine for another 2 months for nothing.
So
it's about the journey.
if you're going to try to use this through book magic, like, you would need to know some book magic, which I think you do.
I know lots of book magic,
There we go.
actually.
All right, so sure, you can attempt astrology, and you can fork in book magic.
I don't have the skill book magic. I
Okay,
have-
you have book magic. Okay, so like, that's right. We did it as like a training skill. Okay, yep. You can do that.
Okay, well, what's the root of astrologer?
Perception.
That's my best stat.
What are you trying to do? What do you want to know?
I don't suppose I could help any with the book magic.
How are you helping him?
Dost thou knowest magic? Pocket lip.
We know Pocket Lit was magic.
And kind of went to school.
Oh.
Really smart people. And even though I did maybe skip some classes to
You know, it's kind of
patrol
like
the area.
in the name. You know, the sorceress proving grounds.
I guess you would maybe have an idea of what she was doing there. Where
So I thought you were working on out of game. You were working on goblin runes as your
Yeah.
goblin.
But
runes?
I could have seen in passing something. I mean, I'm sitting in the same classroom.
What skill are you using to help? And that's really what it comes down to.
I have overall sorcery and enchanting. And
So unless you're
probably-
going to inscribe a goblin rune on his skin,
Do you
wanna
want
get
a
inked by a blue lady?
tattoo?
No.
okay, he doesn't want to get inked.
Are you? What tools are you using for astrology?
Does astrology have tools?
The eyes.
Tools, yes.
It's a bowl of water with two eyes from something looking up. Are the agents for astrology, so they float in the water.
No, that was just your
Do you
breakfast,
need
honey.
to get some astrology tools first?
I think I might need to make some astrology tools first.
And since they're only made in your homeland because it's a skill that is lost here, unless you want to find a facsimile tool, which you can.
Why would I entrust a human-made tool when I can make my own?
You can make your own. Okay, how are you making your own?
I think Smithcraft. Let's see exactly what that one does. I'm pretty sure it has an obstacle for like esoteric tools.
Many options of skills.
Yeah.
Many options.
I know one of these had an obstacle for it. Like, in the skill, not refer to another skill.
What are you trying to make?
A ring of power.
Clearly dousing rods.
Question is, what are the tools of astrology? That's the question.
Yeah, what,
We'll go with a specialized silver bowl.
Okay.
So I'll say that's a obstacle 3 silversmith,
Okay, I can do that.
whitesmith, whatever. Okay. Hey, there's normally some tools in a workshop required for a whitesmith.
I have already gotten permission to use the smithy here.
Plus, we have our own little cottage.
You do have your own allocated cottage. And this is the part where you got permission to use the smithy.
The part where I was repairing all the arms and armor of people during the giant
Yes,
siege.
right. Okay. Way to get one past the game master, as always. Sure. Where are you getting the silver? Sounds like a scavenger test, a resources test,
Do I already have silver on me test? No. I'll just do resources.
Okay.
Sounds like you could use someone with supplier-wise.
Leone, wilt thou helpeth me in this
How much
purchasing?
time in the city is this going to take you to do?
That as well.
How much time do you want?
Well, because I just might go hunting while these guys are diddle-dallying.
Okay, no more than 2 weeks, please.
Well, here's the question.
2 weeks, got it.
We're not trying to. It's what, coming up on winter, right? No, it is winter.
It's about to be the end of
It's
winter.
about to be the end of
It's
winter.
86th day of winter until you guys spend another 4
I heard 2 weeks.
Uh
I asked the question, I heard 2 weeks.
huh.
Okay, let me get straight. We are spending 2 weeks
Craig
to
is
make
gone.
a bowl to maybe save us 2 weeks when we
we're
could
not.
just
We're leaving.
go.
Yeah.
Craig is gone.
Yeah.
Just
We're not waiting 2 weeks to get to. No.
So, do you know where the goblins are?
We are going to go back to the last place they were.
And we'll track them.
With what?
I
3 month old tracks?
6 months old tracks?
6 month old tracks?
Closer to?
My guess is they would have gone closer to the mountain.
It almost
Probably
sounds
stayed
like
in the forest.
everybody is at an impasse and we need a test to argue inside your cottage.
While they are arguing, Craig is slipping out the door to go hunting for 2 weeks.
And
What did
Oh my
you
gosh.
was?
No, Crag.
A silver bowl,
no,
Silver bowl.
a specialized.
I was told 2 weeks.
no, come back. We're not doing that.
What's the silverware? Are we provided with silverware in the cottage?
No,
Oh.
or it's wood. You have wooden utensils.
Here I almost stole from the vice.
Yeah, you almost stole from the viceroy. Okay.
Found out.
So I have a question before
Yeah.
we get, crazy here.
You don't want to spend another season? I mean, the harvest is almost here at this rate.
Well, will the Viceroy give us any provisions to take in the wagon for the goblins to convince them to come with us?
That would be a wonderful thing to ask her,
It would be,
if you can convince her.
if I could convince her.
If only you had someone on your side with their hand on your left ass cheek as you are standing before her.
Same at Araya.
Yeah? She could,
2 weeks. At this rate, it'll be 3.
I wonder if she would want to come with us and get out of the city for a while.
Ooh, that would be another test. Okay.
Are you going to keep her warm?
No, I mean, like, I'm asking if I get the vibe that she would actually want to come out of the city for a while. If she's, like, stir crazy from being, like, do I get that vibe from...
Well, I hadn't anticipated that kind of question before, so you don't know yet. You haven't asked her. You don't have an impression.
Ah,
You were busy being sexually harassed.
you're
Or
right.
advanced on, at least. You haven't filed a complaint, so I don't know it's harassment.
True.
So, first, I think we resolve the dispute between Pocket and Aerith of
Yes.
go track now or cast a spell and hope for an answer from the heavens.
It is very improbable that we will find anything to act on by just going to the ravine.
And you suggest we what? Get you silver to make a bowl?
Well, I don't understand layman to understand magic, but surely the learned Pocket knows that there are many
Out the door I go.
applications.
You're arguing. You're
What is
distracted
this
with arguing.
magic?
So,
Okay,
just,
so
just
you know
out of
how-
curiosity, which city, is there any cities that lie between where the ravine was and the mountains?
No.
Trees.
That you know of. Now, hypothetically, if you folks had a wise test, or a wise of like Gershon forests or Surin wise, or you had some kind of history, you could tell me an answer that you want and then roll to see how true it is.
How about I just go ask somebody?
Would Soren Wise include like smaller cities within its territory? Like this thing's a vassal of Surin, so
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Isn't there like a whole map room we could just go up and ask a question and see if there's any kind of towns or villages?
well we have maps.
That sounds like a great idea.
So you
Why don't we go ask if there's a map room that we can...
Well, we've seen the maps.
you've been in the
Yeah,
map.
we've been in
room,
the
yes.
maps. Yeah.
If we could utilize it.
Okay. So you want to go to the map room?
At the same time, we can
You can get felt up on our way.
speak.
Become a breeder.
We can speak with the Viceroy and possibly get some incentive for the goblins.
Okay, so you want to go to talk to Velthuria.
And apparently use the map room to get
Yeah, just because
just
my
going
guess
along with it.
is if there's any kind of civilization between the ravine and the mountains, where I assume they would want to go back to, any kind of civilization had maybe had farmers that seen them, their own scouts that seen them, any kind of sentry that seen them. Well, why don't we just ask towns in the path
Okay.
if they've seen them? We just need to know where these towns, villages, hamlets.
They're on the road.
I don't know, the hills have eyes. Family, something.
The towns are generally on the roads.
So, you're going to see the Viceroy. You're allowed into the Citadel. You're in the antechamber. You have your usual option of, do you want to talk to Kawald, Sir Kawald, or Dame Edorea?
I would like to talk to Dame Edorea.
Okay.
Oh.
How are you getting sorted on this fine sorting day?
Pleasantly.
Hmm.
How do you find the city?
In dire need of liquor.
I would tend to agree. I do believe some of the things that my compatriot Crag has on him could be construed for liquor or some sort of fermented brew, but I wouldn't be too sure about drinking any of that.
You really know how to charm a girl. What is your business today?
My companions were looking for any maps on the northwestern woods to help us possibly locate small settlements or anyone we could talk to ascertain the goblins' movement and whereabouts since we last found them. And I came to ask you if you would possibly like to come with us out of the town and
Come with you.
stretch your legs.
Don't really have to leave the town to stretch my legs.
One stretches here and one
You would be
stretches
quite useful
here,
as
and they
a
stretch around you.
Useful. Oh. There's that charm again.
as an envoy to the goblins, and I would much appreciate your company and our what could be quite a long travel there. It would be refreshing to have someone not green, blue, or with pointy ears along.
I went hunting. They all left. 2 weeks.
You went hunting?
I was told 2 weeks.
You were not told 2
I
weeks.
told you to get back
Did
here.
I not hear 2
You're the
weeks?
keeper.
I told him to get back
Keeper
here. I
of
literally
Crag.
grabbed
You'll
him
just-
and
okay,
told
whatever you
him.
want.
Opposed strength
Anyway.
test.
Fight.
Opposed strength test.
Oh.
If we see this, we tell you don't leave. We're not going anywhere. Come with us to the castle.
So, if she, basically, if you really want it, he's going to ignore you, I think.
Of course.
If she
I
does
heard
not.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so either you're helping her with the strength test, or it's going to be however it is between the two of
I'm just
them.
yelling at him. Where are you going?
You may yell at him.
Strength.
Power. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
ooh.
Stop trying to. You can't just leave for the forest
That
whenever
is-
you want to.
4 successes. I got 2 6s.
You already beat me.
All right. So, despite your hulking stature,
Probably put more of like a hold on him more than physically like overpowered him.
Ooh.
It's the arm behind the back.
I might look at this
It's
a different way.
Back of the neck, arm.
okay,
Maybe Craig
So-
likes it a little
Yes,
rough.
Daddy.
maybe he does. That's up to you.
Is
But
that a pickle in your pocket or are you happy to see me?
Let's go find out.
As long as you can hold your bride.
I do have a breeder trait.
Focus. Focus.
You-
seduction test.
You do have a breed.
What is that under?
That's under will.
Alright.
What do I roll?
So it's the obstacle is your will.
Is my will.
I got 2.
2, which is 1, basically, but you can log a test either for will, probably a challenging test, or a learning test for seduction.
Is it bad I'm thinking about this?
Some would argue. No, you can learn from failure.
You sure can. Be persistent.
I will take my challenging test.
Be persistent.
Be persistent.
Anyways, so you're not going hunting for 2, 3, or 4 weeks right now, nor are you getting any tonight. You, on the other hand, just might. So, you are about to make some sort of social test, probably persuasion, to see if Edorea is willing to go with you.
Yes. Man, if only I had smooth talking. For that,
Pretty
I
sure
am
you
not.
just got a new trait.
You
I
did.
know, that's what I'm looking.
Glib.
Just call on for,
Falsehood,
like,
soothing platitudes, and
seduction.
seduction.
This is none of that, though.
It could be.
It could be.
You're asking her out on a date.
A camping date.
It's persuasion.
You're being super flirty.
Depends on how you want to approach the same question. Maybe a little batting of the lashes, and
Yes,
flick of
no,
the hair.
no, it is quite high time to open up. Oh, look, I already have one test in seduction. Let's just add a second one to that. Surprise, surprise!
To the point I can't.
Never been with a woman.
May I assist him?
I really just want one.
Sure.
So,
How are you going to?
I'm legitimately curious.
I am kind of also legitimately curious.
mechanically, with persuasion,
Yeah,
game.
mechanically.
with a, maybe like, slight comment of, you're the only one he talks about.
That would be falsehood, sir.
Well, I have that too.
Yes, but have you been talking to one-on-one any other female?
I don't think I would have been talking about her any more than.
You've talked to her more than
I
any
haven't
other
been
female.
talking about her, though.
Yeah, but is it falsehood? I mean, really?
Which test would you like to? Which skill would you like to use?
I
to
mean, either
assist?
way. It's,
I could use a challenging test for falsehood.
Okay, so take one die. One die.
Yeah, one die.
One die in assistance, and you're using
well,
will for seduction. So your obstacle is going to be 12.
oh yeah. That's not happening.
It's a shame because that seems like it might be a nice roll.
It was a very nice roll, but with no sixes. So I have 5 successes
Out of the 12 that you need.
out of the 12 that I need.
So she's looking at you and she's got this smile like she's drinking up your every word, and then she's like, do you smell like pickles?
I swear that's not me. It's Crag. I'm so sorry. These two still need to use the map room, and I need to apparently
Let's get
freshen
you
up.
to some maps then, yes?
I need to go change my tunic.
Okay, so first, great debate about whether or not
Leon, can I have a pickle?
to
I don't have any pickles.
astrology
Just
pocket prevents
Yesterday you did.
Crag from hunting for
oh no.
2 weeks. Go to the map room. Leon reeks of pickles as he fails to persuade Edorea.
Am I even allowed in the castle this time, or the keep?
Sure,
You have been.
you have been.
Have I been?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she shows you into the map room, leading you to Maps. You see maps? What do you want to see? Maps of the area. Okay, sure.
Okay, correlation between the ravine and the mountains. Because personally, if I was these goblins, I'd want to go back to Kogula or someplace like that. I would not want to be here.
Okay.
They're nowhere near the mountains, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be making my way to the mountains.
Okay.
Safety. I'd be making my way to safety. And this place is not safe.
Mountains might not be safe either.
There's a few obvious settlements that they might have passed near. Anything more than Kogrel or Keppa will have to come from this lovely map of ours.
So, what are you trying to find out? Because I'm not clear on the question that you're trying to ask. And
So,
City or town that would have been within the path if they traveled to the mountains, they would pass by and be seen.
from where you saw them.
From where we saw them.
Okay.
Did they take a straight line to the mountains? Did they head up the ravine more?
I mean,
What would goblins do to get them?
the answer to that question is the towns are Surin, Kogrel, and Keppa.
There's no smaller villages?
Not really a whole lot of smaller villages. You can go and look and see if you can find some isolated farms and such.
But nothing on the big map here. Okay. So just Cockerel and Kepra are what we're working with.
Because they've got to eat. And my guess is if they went through somebody's farmland, they're definitely missing supplies.
Yeah, my entire
And-
cow vanished overnight. I don't know what happened.
I mean, it's an army. You've got to feed an army.
You're right.
Just
3 cows vanished overnight. I don't know what happened.
Is it an army, though?
There's like 500 of them.
Yeah.
That area, looking at the map,
Mm-hmm.
do I know of any old orcish camps that are no longer that they could have easily retrofitted for themselves that would have maybe been able to have a place for farming food from the old days of the battle?
Well, let's see.
That wouldn't necessarily be on the map, but
Things that you remember. So
Yeah.
if you want to,
orc-wise,
you could do orc-wise,
I got
soldiering, campaign-wise. Give me another test or another skill that you want to test, and we'll see what we can come up with.
I have an orc-wise.
You have orc-wise. That might work. This is going to be detailed, so that's obstacle 3, I think.
Yeah. This will be a challenging test.
For orc-wise?
Yeah. I only have 2 points in it.
Oh, okay. You could maybe fork in some other skills.
Black Legion wise?
That would work. And there is a camp I would be very interested for you to find.
Yeah.
Ooh. 1, 2, 3 successes. And they're all 6s.
3
So,
successes.
You do know of a place that it was a camp and it turned into a battlefield. That was one of the early battles that the Boris Kerrang lost. It is
In that generalized.
in that general area. It is
Oh, really?
east of Serna into the hills.
Oh.
I will point this out.
So you know of one encampment in particular.
You put that out on a map?
Sure, roughly.
Time for a fight. Maybe.
Aside from that,
We're trying to make friends. We are trying to make friends.
No one knows about this person and my hatred towards him.
I also had a weird idea for a test.
Would it help if I opened that up and got more successes? I had 3 6s.
Plus
I'm
your
good with
4.
giving you. If you want to spend a fate point, you can, but you're not going to get anything particularly more.
No,
there would be
really
a series of camps between Surin and Ardara, because the orcs and the hobgoblins and goblins that invaded Surin, they came through Ardara.
So I will point that out. And then I'll go sit back down.
Okay.
Where's the door?
So you have
Dara's down there.
a series of camps between here and Ardara. You have a
Old battlefield.
old battlefield from, I think, the year 794. Or for you, 18031, I think.
But would they have come out of the woods, or would they have been too afraid to be seen? They were not exactly a fighting force.
So,
I don't have to see the goblins themselves to know if they were a fighting force or not.
you saw those
Hunter.
hunters,
They can fight.
and you crushed a few of them
Mm-hmm.
as they were trying to run away from you.
No, they weren't trying to run away. They were just being cowards. Cowards die.
What do you call running away?
They were just being slow.
Advancing the wrong direction.
Advancing the wrong direction. I like that one.
I wanted to do, or suggest a geography-wise or logistics, try and figure out, like, optimal routes the goblins might take in their migration.
How many
Almost
were in
sounds
that
like
camp?
an orienteering test.
I have orienteering!
Host-wise.
Host-wise? Oh, host-wise, yes.
Well, I'm not training that, so.
Navigating from point A to point B?
Since we're consulting maps on this,
You get-
can I fork in researching?
I think there was.
You can fork in researching, and you also get a
tribes that
+1
became
die
one.
advantage for
100.
using a map.
Oh!
There's a couple hundred.
But let's set.
Was there a couple hundred of them there?
There were 600 of them, plus 50 human slaves or so.
So you need to feed 600 mouths, give or take.
I have goblin wise!
You have goblin wise? You
I
can't
have
say.
goblin wise!
Ah. So before you roll, let's get you an obstacle. So the question you are asking is to figure out a route that they could have taken from where you saw them back to where do you think they went?
She says into the mountains, and
The mountains are kind of big. They go
Yeah.
from the northern end to the southern end of the continent. So
Crag told us that there was a possible stopping place for them.
yeah.
okay,
An old
so
battlefield.
So
you can plot multiple routes.
figuring like kind of at least this general region,
Okay,
which from here to there, that's can already narrow it down a lot.
sure.
Looking at the map, where would looking at that, if you were feeding 600-ish mouths, less a few hunters, where would they best be able to find that?
So that almost sounds like you want to fork in survival, or someone wants to help you with survival so that you can figure out, in addition to the optimal route, where would there be food along the way.
I have
Wouldn't want-
survival.
So, wouldn't that be someone that knows how to get resources with survival?
Leon, don't you have like
Are you talking to me?
logistic wise or something?
Resources was I am not a survival boy.
Yeah, but we're talking about logistics.
We're talking about resources to acquire resources with survival of hers.
Don't you know anything about like trading routes?
I have supplier wise.
Oh, supplier wise
River-wise?
with survivor.
Maybe not supplier wise.
So if you're going to make the argument that they would have followed a water source, like a river, then you could fork in. You could assist with river-wise. Otherwise, if Pocket remembers whether or not they had any wagons there, then you could assist with driving. Because
They
you
said
feel like
some
that terrain would be too rocky, they would need a road, that kind of
really,
thing.
really crude tents. I don't think they had. They
So-
had nothing, no permanent structures. They pretty much dug into the ravine side
They
for
sure
shelter.
did. So, how are you going to, or you can just
Wait a
stay
minute.
back there and kind of make eyes at Edorea, hoping she'll forgive you for your pickle smell.
Also, we're just coming out of the winter months.
Mm-hmm.
They would have had to find a place for shelter, especially if they had no real way of traveling and they were digging into the sides of a ravine. Where of this would be the best shelter for them?
And there we go. So there's again an argument for survival. So I have a die of survival from you.
Yep.
I have orienteering and a whole bunch of forks from you. Is Crag helping at all?
I've got
Feels great.
orienteering.
And with what skill is Leon helping at all? And with what skill?
I don't think Leon has much.
I can help with clan-wise.
That's okay. You can sit over there and look
They're
pretty.
a clan. What they would maybe do.
So these would be
No.
maybe goblin clans. So clan-wise in this respect would be more like orc tribe-wise.
How about hunting? If they're hunting for food
We're forging.
or foraging.
I could see an argument for that you would be able to pick out some terrain that would be better for hunting and foraging. You can help with either of those.
So whatever one, it's still just a 1 die.
Unless you have 5 dice in any of them.
No. I don't have
Okay.
5 dice in anything.
I
other
think-
than-
Mm-hmm.
They would need to be within not too far of a river
they need water.
or the lake. Like, there's only so, like, because what is this? It's sewer. This is like what, a month travel basically, like an inch is
Only
a
a couple
month,
weeks.
or an inch is a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But they need water.
So there are streams. The streams
Oh,
are
yeah.
too small to be shown on the
Okay.
map, but they're
There are streams then.
yeah, because
carry on.
otherwise what do the trees drink in the forest?
Yeah,
Do you have river-wise?
I have Riverwise,
Would that apply to, like, streams?
but
It probably wouldn't apply to streams, but knowing how the river gets fed from the runoff streams of the mountains, he would be able to maybe surmise that probably the way the hills fold this way or that way, there would be a stream between them that feeds a certain river. So I would allow perhaps river-wise, sure. So let's just make sure that I understand. You're going to find a route that they would have taken through a land that is unfamiliar to both them and you.
Mhm.
But at
Okay.
least we have maps.
At
you
least
have-
we have maps and forks.
So I will set that at an obstacle 3.
That's it.
That's it.
Don't fuck me.
You have 3.
I have 5.
You have 5. So you find multiple routes that they could have taken to get from the western wood back into the mountains, either more northerly through that camp that is east of Serna, or back through Ardara.
Query.
Yeah.
Would more successes possibly help me narrow things down, given I'm working in goblin-wise? So that might include, like, destinations they might want. Does that make sense?
I would say you can. Let me look at the link test super quick.
Because I tell you right now, if it was me, I'd probably be going for Adara. It's close. It's held.
But they're fighting amongst
we
themselves.
don't
'cause they
want to
don't
go
have a
back
great
under
one.
the orcs.
That's orc-occupied. It's orc-occupied.
Why would they want to go back under?
And they're fighting for
Yeah.
direction because they don't have a great one to lead them.
Right, they don't have a great one to lead them. And
So they're all kinds of mixed up
They're-
and lost.
Okay, this is not so much a linked test.
not exactly gonna
But
screw it away from orcs.
what I will say is that having such an outstanding success on figuring out the possible routes and destinations and the traveling conditions, I will give you a +1 die for a goblin-wise test that might help you determine what they might have done, or which one they might have favored.
So essentially, this is... I've now figured out the routes they would take.
If they were going that way. Yeah.
So you're suggesting I could now roll goblin-wise to figure out a destination. Okay. That makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me too. So let me give you an obstacle for that one too.
And let me get a dice pool.
I'll go with details. Obstacle 3.
Okay. Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have goblin-wise?
I should. But I don't.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Here we
Before
go.
you do that, is there anything else that possibly could have swayed that? Anything else that you could have any other question? You remember when you went into the Southwest Woods and you were going to say, hey, we're going to track the humans, and I said, well, if that's all you're giving me, it's an obstacle 7 test. But I left for a few minutes and you guys thought a little bit and we got that down to like an obstacle 2 or 3.
We
So-
found other tracks other than humans
Right,
in the swamp.
right,
Those were orky,
right.
not goblin-y.
So before you roll, it's an obstacle 3 test. It's probably going to stay an obstacle 3. But are there any other things that you can maybe think about that instead of just asking Jade for a goblin-wise assist, that maybe there's some other skills that apply?
Survival.
What do you think?
Circles.
Circles?
So, hasn't Pocket, like, lived in goblin towns?
Yeah.
So if not any specific skill, maybe she could at least help with that as an excuse. Or rather, by possessing such history, that can assist in lowering the obstacle.
So circles would be the people that she actually knows. Like you people are in my circle. So unless you're
Yeah.
saying that she would roll circles to find somebody here in Surin that would know, goblin-wise.
It's more like the implication that she had circles in specific goblin cities.
So she
So
did
she
make
knows where they were.
She did make a circles test to see if she actually knew any of the guards, but she didn't.
Yeah, when I was talking to the sentry, I was trying to keep it out for someone I knew, and I didn't see anybody. But there were so many people there, and I was in a very narrow place.
So
Well, I'm not hearing any suggestions.
You did hear a suggestion.
Which one?
It came from that direction.
Survival.
What do you think?
That survival?
Yeah.
You know, take any help I can get.
Can you explain how survival would assist?
Well, shelter for the winter.
Okay.
Where to potentially get food
Okay.
wise. Basic supplies, just to where they can get basic supplies of what they need. I mean, it's 600 plus people. It's not like it's 4.
Okay. So the feasibility
Oh.
of the travel for that amount of goblins in this weather,
Yep.
this time of year. Okay, that
And
works.
Shelter wise, what's the temp get down to in the winter here?
Cold.
Negatives.
You'll get snow, and especially if you're going into the mountains, you'll get
Yeah.
cold and
So
wind.
I don't want to freeze wise.
It has been a long period of time, but they haven't been traveling that entire period. They had to have hunkered down at some point.
I could see survival.
Okay. I've taken a helper die for survival.
Okay.
I've got survival. I've got
You
orienteering.
can only help with one.
What, how many points do you have in survival?
1 orienteering of 2.
That's the same.
Same thing. Yeah.
Just Trask have, just Crag have survival?
Nope.
Oh. Such is life.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4,
What's the obstacle?
3.
Ah. Will extra successes assist in this?
In a way that will be revealed at a later time.
So, it would not be wasting a fate point to open these.
Okay, sure. If
Okay.
you want to eventually turn your knowledge of goblins into a heroic level of knowledge. Well placed.
You could.
I think not chasing our tails in the middle of bumfuck nowhere because we lost the goblins is a prudent excuse to use a fate point.
Okay.
The foremost goblin expert among elves.
And how did it get that way? Lots of research.
Yep.
Lots and lots of goblin research.
So I've got now
Intimate.
7 successes.
Intimate goblin
But
research.
didn't you just roll 2 6s?
I rolled 2 6s and I rolled another one and another one.
But aren't those open-ended too?
Yeah, so I kept rolling them.
Oh, you did keep rolling. Okay. I didn't see that you kept rolling them.
That's why I kept grabbing more dice.
With this sudden, uncanny, almost
The light bulb comes on.
fated revelation.
epiphany of goblin awareness, you realize that thinking about the world and what they had gone through from their perspective, where they did not have unity within the same tribe, they were close to the changing of seasons, and they knew people were looking for them. They went deeper, you surmise, they would have gone deeper into the western wood, and by the time that they maybe would have felt it was safe to move, it was too close to the winter. And so, very much more than likely, they spent the winter in the western wood. Or, since the other thing that you guys were kind of going around on, you thought that they had crossed the river Chessa and gone into the southwest wood. Whether or not you actually still believe that or not, they would not have made a break for the mountains in this weather, so close to the change of the season.
Happy day.
Happy day. Good thing that you...
So now we just need a silver teacup.
I
No, we're going.
mean, it would be nice, but we have business.
I believe it is time to leave immediately.
What time of day is it?
What time of day do you want it to be? So we've been arguing for about 2 hours.
We will leave on the morrow.
So we can say it's still late morning?
I think it seemed like an evening time.
Okay.
So we
Aerith.
still need to ask if we could take any provisions with us.
Maybe we just, instead of taking provisions that they can steal off of, kill us for,
They won't kill us.
maybe we
Maybe you.
ask
They might be hungry.
what can be promised to the goblins upon their arrival here.
That is a fantastic fucking idea.
And on that note,
A shitty oath.
I'll look for Velthuria.
Okay, she's in the map room, right there. Because the map room
yes.
is the throne room.
I will stand an appropriate distance away from her.
Okay. You stand an appropriate distance away from her.
Yes. Yes, good evening. Good morning, Lady Velthuria.
Isn't it evening?
One of those.
If we are to go find the goblins, we believe it best that we be able to promise them something when they arrive here. Or at least, a promise of no harm and whatever else.
Well, certainly, if we wish to bring them into the greater community, not in the walls, that's what we had agreed to, but what do you want? You're being vague.
I just would like to know what accommodations, extra provisions, anything like that the goblins will be provided with, given, rationed, etc. when they arrive. I'm not asking for them. I'm simply asking what I can pass along as your accommodations. Or incentives.
Peace.
Very well. Peace it is.
Unless you have something specific.
Figured they would be hungry and want somewhere safe to stay.
So are you asking me to let them in the walls?
No, outside of the walls is just fine. Safe enough out there.
Well, then what accommodations am I providing them?
Apparently, a place to stay outside the walls, and
They already have a place to stay.
Is there
There we
shelters
go.
outside the walls?
I mean,
There are the ruins of burnt down shanty towns.
So how about materials to help them at least build something to live in?
So
Outside of the walls.
are you suggesting that they be given rights to settle outside of the wall, like immediately outside of the wall.
I mean, that's where you want them, is it not?
I didn't contrive the idea that they would be right outside the walls. But
Well,
if that's-
okay, the area that you want them.
I mean, you want debris cleared, correct? From the toppled buildings. I mean, I've been helping in that project.
Indeed, I do. But that has been inside the walls, from what I understand.
How about
But-
give them access to inside the walls to clear debris to build their own houses directly outside the walls.
So it's a win-win then.
They
And
don't
it doesn't
far
have to be
go.
directly outside the walls. If you want this section of land dedicated for them to build their settle in, that's fine. It just, because that's going to have to be a thing. You're bringing 600 people here. Where do you want them?
Approved. Go do.
I don't care what a rig are.
Be gone.
Very well.
Alright. Leaving tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning.
Leaving tomorrow morning.
And you're-
We have to stay put.
Are we going to just
Yes,
need to
Mom.
keep shackles for him?
Shackles can be broken.
Really big shackles?
He might misinterpret that.
Mm.
You know, if he's hard while he's chained up and out of the way, it's not my business.
It is when you're the one having to clean him up after his boom boom time.
Oh God.
Are you offering sponge baths now?
Apparently, Flowerhead is.
Can't he clean himself? I think he's a grown orc.
If he would be shackled, that would be difficult.
Once we unshackle him, he can clean himself. But most of the time,
So
if
now-
he's, having flights of
So now I'm a slave?
adventurous fancy,
Allow them to build their own housing outside the walls.
I think the kind of slave that he's meaning is
He's talking about shackles.
I'm not enslaving, it's just
not the kind
restraining.
of slave that they're thinking of.
Oh no,
No, we're not fucking.
Could you pass those?
I
please?
understand that.
Well, I mean, they could if they wanted.
Me not fuck him.
Me no fuck him.
You pass those over to me when you're done.
Yep.
I didn't know Flower Top and Rockface had that kind of relationship.
So now you guys are trying to enslave me.
No.
Noted.
You've been in some shackles. Like literally before we got with Mr. Grove.
No, it wasn't. I haven't been in shackles since I had to take the oath. And now you're telling me I have to put them back on. Noted.
We're asking you to not cause trouble for once.
I don't cause trouble. You're the one that said I could go for 2 weeks.
The
No,
elf,
I didn't.
the elf was being snide. You're taking it too far.
Well, then he shouldn't say what he doesn't mean.
You tell him you're going to eat him all
I
the
might.
time.
If I
That's
run out of
true.
I
food,
might.
That is true.
And
it's
who's
just-
gonna cook me? Not you. I can't cook me if I'm dead.
Like
You don't need your legs.
raw and wriggling.
Right. So it's the next day. If there's anything else that you guys want to do on this day, but otherwise, take your 4 to 8 hours of practice time in that evening and move along.
Do.
All right. So I guess in the morning we prepare for our lovely wagon ride out.
Mm-hmm.
May I make a quick purchase in the morning?
What is your quick purchase?
Tools for leatherworking.
Sure.
Obstacle 3.
Sure.
Does anyone want to help?
I can help you and I can haggle.
with 0 dice.
With
0 dice.
so someone needs to give you a die of cash for you to help.
Yep.
Now, what you can do is make another resources test to generate a die of cash to then give it to Crag so that then he can help you.
So generating a die of cash. No, I'm not risking this. I'm not risking cash to give up cash. I almost did, but no, it's not worth it. We'll find you cash down the road. Actually, do I just have a dive cash? No.
I mean,
Did we not
stand
sell?
there and look intimidating.
Did we not sell the animals that I caught in the furs?
No. We didn't need to.
So we still have them to sell?
Yeah. And we don't need to sell them.
I thought we did.
I thought you guys burned holes in the middle of the...
That was one of the first two, and then he went and caught like the entire forest.
Ah, yes, the entire forest.
Pocket, do you want to help with resources?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Three, and I have 2 helper dice.
Have resources, which is amazing.
Happy day. Ah,
Told you should have let me talk to him.
well, you should have heckled faster.
So what do you want to do? You want to walk away from this, or you want to
Your
take a
resources
tax?
got taxed.
Or are you going to spend Artha?
I'll just take a tax.
Okay. Let's see. How many dice did you roll? 5? 6? So
Roll
it's a
5.
routine test.
Yeah.
So, 1 tax. Right on.
That might be. Is that what? How many dice do you have of cash?
I have 2.
2 resources. So would that be a challenging for her then? Is that how it works?
Obstacle 3.
It'd be an obstacle 3.
So yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then challenging
But
for you.
you get a tax.
So you're also taxed.
Oh boy.
Oh shit. I forgot everyone else gets taxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Challenging.
what is your resources at right now?
My resources at 2.
It's now a 1.
It is now a 1.
You know what?
You are not taxed.
I have a persona point.
You have a persona point?
Happy day.
Happy day. Never mind, you're not taxed. And you get a challenging resources
Okay.
test. Huzzah.
About to say, we have stuff we can sell. There's literally...
The moment we got to everyone else was inconvenienced by this, I was like, okay, no, I can't take the social guilt.
Oh, good.
How dare though?
Right on. So you have your leatherworking tools.
Aye.
And off you guys go into the... Where are you going?
The Western Wood.
The Western Wood.
Wood.
Okay. And you're trying to find the ravine that they were at in the first place.
Yeah, considering
We'll use that as
find
a
where they
starting
were and
point.
go west.
All
We'll
right.
go that way.
So, this would be a time where I think a linked test would come into play because this will take a long time.
Leone, do you have armor?
And that,
Oh, you're just a little naked baby?
yes.
Easier to cook them.
You know, did anybody think of maybe stealing some armor from our vanquished foes? And...
No, we don't need tainted armor.
Says who?
The armorer! I just made you armor the other week.
Yeah, you did. Why didn't you write that down?
Yeah.
Are you unhappy with that? Would you like more? Would you like to scavenge from the battlefield?
Do you want a refund?
No, I just
Okay.
need to remember what armor I got.
You got
Reinforced leather.
reinforced leather,
Great.
which is 2 dice.
So it was one day to find the tracks in session 2 and following them, and it was one day into the woods when Pocket found the camp, and that's where we almost ended. That's right. In session 2, that's when Leone and that's when Crag went off running after the 8 goblin hunters, and then Leone and Aerith ditched
Yes.
the green skin and the blue skin.
And then she covered
We
up
left
the
them a
note.
note.
Yeah, so that was one day and change into the woods. So where they went from there, who knows?
Who knows?
So this will be probably a linked test.
So how many days was it to get to the ravine? Just 1.
And change.
1 and change.
Not 2, but not fully 2 days. So probably if you leave on the morning of the following day, Labor Day, 7th day of the week.
Oh, we can't work the 7th day of the week. It's Labor Day.
No, it's the day that you absolutely must work.
That's why they call it Labor Day.
Yeah.
They on which you
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 labor.
took a breath on the 5th day of the week, then you sorted yourself on the 6th day of the week on sorting day. That was yesterday. You should have gotten yourself all sorted.
I'm sorted.
All right.
We're not.
Well, then you're ready to do some labor.
Pickles and turkey wings. Legs.
So, assuming you leave the morning of Labor Day, you will probably make it into the area of the ravine. Where did I put that?
Did we bring the cart, biscuit, and flapjack?
Speaking of which, before
Yes.
we leave, when was the last time we did a resources?
Lifestyle
A
tip?
lifestyle?
Yeah.
We can do that by the end of the session, maybe, if we're in a town. So you'll get there Friday afternoon, but I need some kind of test that tells me that you can navigate there in a timely manner.
I heard driving.
Orienteering?
Either one. Which one?
That's
Who's
just
the lead roller?
I
Is
can't
anyone-
drive.
Okay. But
I
you
can-
can orienteer,
I can orienteer.
and you know the way, but
Yep.
so does he. So, who's the lead roller? Is anyone helping, and how?
He's driving.
He's driving. He should
Okay,
be
you're
rolling.
driving.
Oh God.
Nominated.
I can't
Okay.
drive. I don't know how.
You didn't take up the two
I am
dice from me.
driving. I have my helper dice from Biscuit and Flapjack.
Mm-hmm.
I have my 2 helper dice from you. 2?
Yeah.
For,
Orienteering.
and then 1 from her for orienteering.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have a D6, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Obstacle, well, you roll and we'll see how it goes.
It goes.
How's it going?
I don't know what happened there, so
Did you lose your 4 to a 1?
I don't know.
That was a 4, and it just flipped to a 1.
Okay, thank you then. That's why I was like, I don't know what happened here. Let's open these bad boys up here, right?
Let me give you an obstacle before you go any further.
Oh no, we're opening these bad boys up.
He's
All
feeling
right.
it.
We have 5 successes. That should be fair enough to drive us on a
Happy day.
happy day.
Okay. So, makes it obstacle 3. No. You get there Friday afternoon, and so because you beat your obstacle by 1, whatever your next test is at a +1 die advantage.
Happy day.
Ooh.
Happy day. So there's the ravine. They didn't fill in the holes that they dug, but the place is picked clean. Aside from the evidence of digging, and there's not a trace of them. Nothing is left behind. Not a scrap.
They go
that's a
underground.
Fantastic idea.
No, there's just nothing left behind. We can still
They
find
were
tracks.
digging. I'm just saying, could they have hit a cavern underground and went underground in the ravine?
Since travel takes time
Mhm.
and we camped somewhere along the way,
Mm-hmm.
may I this morning roll cooking to brew a energizing coffee for Pocket, so that when we do need to get to the hard labor of scrounging the entire land, you know, she's got that pick me up.
She's
Just for
got
Pocket or
that
for
pick
everyone?
me up.
Well, I guess I can roll for everyone's, but
So, energizing coffee for everyone is going to be a 3
okay.
with the +1 die advantage from your test to get here.
Ah,
And so if you do well on this test, then the next test gets an advantage.
okay. We are performing a big link test, I say. Don't fuck me. Yes, it's magic.
Okay, so
That's open.
that's open. All right.
4 successes.
4 successes on an obstacle 3. So, having deftly brewed coffee after, I think, the Eclendon style, yet there's still something different about it, a very earthy kind of taste, more than you're used to, perhaps. Well, more than you're used
So
to.
far, I keep trying coffee, and I still don't like it, but
Oh.
I keep drinking it.
I'm actually doing this in Marn style.
Oh, in the Marn style, pardon me.
She didn't like the Eclipse style.
That's right.
I mean, I'm drinking it.
The goat's milk will really help.
Do you know what happens later on, Pocket, when the coffee don't sit well with the milk?
I might take, like a stash of honey. Put some honey in there.
Okay, that's fine.
Stir it up.
My coffee wasn't good enough.
I'm drinking it. I'm totally polite
No,
about
I
it.
understand.
It's just something about the coffee that I'm not quite sure why Julian and Cullis and a whole bunch of other people keep.
It could just be that exotic palate.
Yeah.
I'm reminded by my behavior of Germany, in which they don't really keep these things at the table because to modify the food is an insult to the chef.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Really?
Wait, what?
Yeah, at a lot of restaurants I've been to in Germany, there were no seasonings at the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honey.
Jade, what would you do without condiments?
I would die.
You pull out your
Jade would have to.
pocket pepper. Ah.
Yeah.
I would have like
I'm with
ketchup
you.
in one pocket and like a sleeve with a gallon Ziploc bag just duct taped to my arm.
She
That's
would
got
be in
like.
there with the trench coat instead of watches. She would condiments.
I could not. I wouldn't be able to. I have to have my salt, my seasoned salt, my pepper, my garlic salt, my onion pepper. It's just I would die. I don't think I could survive. I wouldn't be able to taste anything.
She's have
I
a ranch,
overload it.
mustard,
looks like
or
dandruff.
ketchup, spicy ketchup, barbecue sauce, or yum sauce, or whatever this sauce.
Like we don't have food in the fridge.
No.
We have condiments.
Yes.
I believe you. Anyway.
Both sides condiments. The whole top shelf in the back condiments. That is
No.
how I survive.
It's
is
more than the whole
condiments.
top shelf in the back, and it's the whole left side of the top shelf as well.
So you catch Pocket squirting in some mustard into her coffee and trying to drink it and still making this like awful face, and you get this feeling like there's just a cultural gap between your two peoples that's very difficult to bridge, and you don't really have any other way of saying that's not how you're supposed to do it, but you've already tried that and it didn't work.
I've already tried multiple recipes with her. It's just not clicking.
Yeah, so
Is
you
this
don't
what
like
it's
the
like to have
coffee,
children?
but it is very energizing.
I think it's a bitter thing. I mean, I've tried putting honey in it. You've tried putting milk, and you tried putting goat. I mean, it's just.
Next time I'll just make tea.
Whatever you're gonna do, you have a +1 die advantage to whatever your next test is. What are you guys doing? You're at the ravine that you did, in fact, see these goblins. How would you like to proceed in finding them?
I think we need to send Pocket out, and maybe I just need to stay here while we send our party out to find traps.
Well, we knew what direction we were going from the maps and the discussion we had.
Generally west, yeah, but that's big area, so.
Which way does the ravine run? North to south, west to east. Where
Generally, it runs southwest northeast. I'm making that up.
So is there a mass exited out of one side where it's a little really?
So both sides are kind of sloping. There is still snow on the ground, but underneath the snow is a very thick carpet of dead leaves from the autumn.
Yeah, Pocket.
You were here 6 months ago.
I was pretty close when I said 6 then. Huh?
I'm going to go to the far end
Okay,
And
the northeast end. Okay.
and see if there's any like timber or anything cleared out to where a large group of people would have trampled the vegetation, and because it's cold months, it wouldn't have grown back by now.
Okay, sure. So you're trying to track them.
Track them. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get a tracking test obstacle worked up.
And since this is relating to plants, I get a... Do I get the +1 die?
You can have the +1 die. Just understand, I have a hard time giving you anything below a obstacle 7 tracking test because it has been 6 months. I mean, it kind of does balance out that there were over 600 of them. They would have potentially really beaten down a path, but either on one end of the spectrum they were 1 deep and 600 wide, and they would have made a very wide path that maybe would have sprung up the next day, or it would have been all 600 and change of them going on a very narrow path that would have definitely cut a very deep path, but it's only 1 set of footprints wide and would be much harder to find. So either way, especially if it's going to be over time,
Covered
this is
with
going to be
leaves, snow.
probably an obstacle 7.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm thinking like a game trail, you know, where you can see where the deer had constantly gone down to the tree. So,
And I
alright.
can see it, but just if there's any way that other people are helping, or if there's any other forks that you have.
Yeah, I've got tracking, I got orienteering, I got survival, I got plant-wise.
Goblin wise.
Does not have goblin wise.
Someone else has goblin wise.
I have goblin wise.
Yeah.
Would you like to help with
So-
goblin wise?
No, I have orienteering.
Would you like to help with
Does
orienteering?
anybody have
Okay.
climbing?
I have
2 dice.
climbing.
You can use climb if you're well. How does climbing apply?
So
exactly?
you can, if you can get high enough in tree, you can kind of see maybe a divot in the land, even with snow.
Okay, fair enough. I will allow you to fork in climbing, and if you're making an argument for you to help with climbing,
Yeah.
that works too.
I will do that.
Okay.
Did you take 2 dice from me?
No, not 2, I just took 1.
Hmm.
I'm sitting on the front of the wagon here. I am of no use in this.
Okay. Is that all?
Obstacle 7.
It's cocked.
That one is, so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sources. I'm going to open this one,
Okay.
these 2,
Okay.
with.
1 fade. Okay.
6. Alright, so I'm going to take 1, 2,
Can you work
3
carefully?
triggers.
She can work carefully.
Maybe it's time to work carefully, considering it's been 6 months. We're in no
Okay.
rush, per
Carefully? You want me to work carefully?
se. I mean,
So that's an
Yeah.
extra die?
what
That's
else
an
are we
extra
gonna do? Like, we can spend a whole day picking up this trail.
We're 6 months behind, another day more.
There is absolutely no rush.
Alright, so
4.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7.
Great success.
Could have rolled astrology with him.
I don't have astrology. He had astrology.
I don't have astrology yet. And people keep getting in my way.
I tried to help you. I asked if it was time to go get your silver cup.
You know what? You did try to help me in a weird roundabout Crag way.
I literally tried to buy you 2 weeks.
No 2 weeks.
Oh my god, Crag is being nice to me.
In a grumpy way.
See, when he offers to go away for 2 weeks, it's not because he's selfish or wants to go fishing. No.
He wants
Now,
to help
he's
me.
trying to help you by giving you time alone.
Oh no, is he courting me?
I do have a
Oh
reader trait.
no.
He's giving you your
Careful,
space.
flower top.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I
Someone's gonna
think
get
we
a,
broke Morgan.
Someone's gonna get a Scooby snack.
Mountain Man and Paula Dean are about to become buddies.
At least I'll eat good. More than...
I think it's Aerith that's going to have the sausage snack on this one. I could be wrong, though. Who knows? Maybe Crag does take to the shackles a little too well.
I'm going to roll Smithcraft to create a spreader bar.
Spread.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
boy. You are able to find the trail, and it does appear that they went almost single file, but it's beaten into the ground very, very well. It is under the snow, though, so it does take quite a bit to find. And someone was trying to cover the tracks, so that and the leaves fell and then the snow came, so it is very difficult to find, but you actually are able to follow it over the course of the next 3 weeks, which is again with 10-day weeks, and after just a little over a month you start to smell them. You smell cooking. It's not like a bad smell, it's like the smell of people camping. Just a lot of them. So
It smells more.
you smell cook fires, you smell the smell of basically a small village
Moving on the wind.
moving on the wind. Right, okay, so knowing that you are in proximity to the goblin camp, what would you like to do?
How do we want to do this?
Probably check them out first, try and gauge the mood.
So let's have our scout check them out. And
We've had 30 days to discuss this on the way here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine. Take as much time as you want to take.
And then
I'll sneak up, see if I see anybody
And
that
kidnap their leader. Yes.
there is no leader.
There could be
Problem,
now.
or there could be now.
I mean, it's been like forever.
Right. They could have a great one by now.
They could have like invented communism in the time we were gone.
I have a solution to that if they have known.
They already did. They're living together in a
In a commune?
commune. They're sharing all of their resources, are they not?
I don't know.
There was 4 separate
I didn't roll
clans
goblin wise for
together.
that.
Yeah. There was 4 separate clans
If we're-
together.
Yeah. For goblins, it's
Separate.
not all share and share like.
Well, then how does one come and approach a goblin camp for trade or barter?
It's almost like someone should make a goblin-wise test.
Who knows about the goblins?
I really should. I just for some reason don't have goblin wise.
Would you like to develop the skill?
Yeah, probably should.
Do
Okay.
you want me to instruct you in goblin
Really
wise?
should.
Okay, so it's based on perception. So you would roll perception.
Can I assist her?
Do you have goblin wise?
No.
But you have perception.
Yes.
Okay, you can help with that.
Can I
help?
assist with that?
Sure. You can help as well.
Goblin wise.
Sure.
Goblin-wise.
Can you
Okay.
assist perception with goblin eyes?
You can help a stat with a skill.
Yes.
But not at the reverse.
Does it count as double?
It's gonna count as the. Yes, because it's still based off of the obstacle for the primary.
See, this is like growing up with
So
a
does she
house
get 2
of
die, or
artists.
does that 1 die
and not
count for
knowing how to
saving
draw.
rolls?
Yep.
Gets 1 die.
Okay.
All right, so I've got
1.
one die
One.
from you, 1 die from you,
1 die.
1 die from you.
So the question that you are trying to answer is.
What is their new social structure and overall?
I thought it was how to approach them.
Etiquette. Goblin etiquette.
Goblin etiquette.
Basically, like,
No.
how do we parlay with the goblins? Because that's what we're trying to figure out, right?
Right. But, you
Best
know,
way
if
to
they're
approach 'em?
actively having sport with each other, we don't
Again?
exactly want to just kind of walk right up there.
Best way to figure it out.
Unless it's a communal sport with an open invitation, in which case maybe it would be rude to decline. This is what the goblin test is for.
Yeah, sure. How are we going to approach them in the
How to parlay.
parlay?
Okay. So we'll set that at an obstacle 3. Which is going to be an actual, we'll say obstacle 2 actually, because it's an interesting fact. Becomes an obstacle 4 because it's double obstacle penalty. But you got a.
Yeah. 2 6s and 2 5s.
Okay. You can open them if you want, but you don't have to. Because you met the obstacle. If you would like some more juice, Then you gotta squeeze more.
See, goblin wise, let's go ahead and toss a fate point in there.
The 2 hands is too much.
I suddenly feel more knowledgeable about goblins.
Wow, did you open up?
Very nice.
Happy day.
Oh, another 5. So
Okay.
that was 3 5s, 2 6s.
So it's 2 successes. So
2 successes.
It opened at a 2
Okay.
though, so I feel like that's fine.
Okay. So, what you should definitely not do is try to sneak up on them. You should identify their main entrance to their camp and approach them in open visibility. Speak to them politely in their own language, which is your own language, and directly say what you want.
The question is, should the human and the elf be visible for this?
Well, that's not the question that you asked me, but
It goes with etiquette, I would say.
I would say, sure, we'll let it ride. They can be, and so this is kind of a gray area in that, on the one hand, if they see them sooner, it might make it harder for you to negotiate your way into the camp, but if it comes out that you've been hiding things from them later,
At the same
that's
time,
not going to go well either.
Well, I look like
Well, I
a
had the
great
exact-
one by having slaves.
I had the exact idea for this, was having our scout, like, go talk to them and introduce us. Just like, hey, I have people that want to talk to you. And they're like, okay, who are they? And she's like, oh, it's this elf and human. Here they are.
Well, the best part about this is I'll be walking up there weaponless.
Okay.
Pocket, you are a weapon.
They don't know that.
They don't know that. So, are you going alone, or are you trying to pass off as a great one with slaves?
I think I'm going to try to pass off as a great one with slaves.
So,
I
how
think
many slaves do you have? 1, 2, or 3?
Oh
I
boy.
am going to go first, have those 2 behind me, and Biggin behind them.
Diamond formation.
Okay.
This could have. What could possibly go wrong with falsehood?
Absolutely nothing.
Good thing I'm learning falsehood.
So,
Just
are you
gonna-
just- so is this just for first impressions, or is this a lie we're going to be doing?
Oh, it's just first impressions. We're not going to.
Okay, so they'll see us and they'll assume
Right.
you're a great one of slaves.
We're
But once we get up there, it's too late to turn us down, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, we want to talk."
yeah, like you're not in chains. You're not. We're creating an alliance, which means we're on the same playing field. We're just going to kind of go in a certain way.
Right.
So no bullshitting.
No, you're not slaves.
Yep,
Right.
If
Let's
they assume you're slaves,
that's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay. So, when are you getting off? Are they going to see you guys get off the wagon?
No, I
No.
think the wagon should stay hidden some meters back.
Okay. So you're getting off the wagon. You're tying up Biscuit and Flapjack, and you guys are walking in that diamond formation up to the main entrance to the camp, where you see a lot of spears and arrows pointed at you. And there
Yep.
appears to be, one guard that's in charge of them all, and approaches you. And it is an older goblin woman.
Do I recognize her?
No. Unless you want to make a circles chest.
I mean, I
You
can.
can.
Yeah,
But what are you trying to figure out? Are you wanting this to be someone that you know from Cogular?
right.
Okay. Let's get you an obstacle before we go this route. Broad occupation, professional life path, no change, but they're a goblin, you're a half-breed. So we'll change that to +1. Same station, lower or higher. They're in charge of people. Despite what you're trying to pass yourself off as, you're not. So that becomes a +2. So that's total 3.
Whoa.
You don't particularly care about their disposition or character knowledge, but it is kind of like a right here, right now sort of thing. You're not really in trouble though, so I'm not going to go the whole +3. So that's a +2 in aggregate, and that brings it to an obstacle 5 circles test. So you can either test that and know this goblin, or you can try to talk your way past her in some other way.
Let's try talking way past her, because I have a B1 in Cogular reputation.
So what do you want here?
I come as a negotiator.
Negotiator.
Yes. Oh, would you like an apple?
Yep, I would.
Sure.
Okay. I hand her a bright red apple.
She cautiously takes the apple and turns it over and squeezes it for firmness. Is it
It is a good apple.
a good apple? And she puts it in a pocket. A negotiator. What are you negotiating?
I was wondering if we could have a discussion between you and your great ones about an alliance.
With who?
Here comes a trick card. There is a human leader
Human.
that is very interested in creating an alliance with you and your tribes and invites you to come stay close to their city walls for mutual beneficiary purposes.
Building materials.
So it sounds like you're trying to persuade her.
Yeah, sure, because I totally don't have persuasion either. But, you know, I'm oddly likable.
You're oddly likable, and you gave her an apple.
Yes.
So you can have a +1 die because you gave her an apple.
Okay. What's persuasion?
It's willpower,
Oh, okay.
and the obstacle is her will.
Boy.
Unless you are doing something to fork in other skills, or
Goblin wise.
I'm still
Learning that.
or you could have your man harem do something.
First of all, let me introduce. I'll have them introduce themselves.
In a language they don't speak.
You were
I speak
learning.
Cogular.
No.
You
I was
speak
learning.
Cogular Goblin, that's
Yes,
right.
you
I
were
do.
learning. I was teaching you.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
quite the catch.
You taught me once.
I taught you.
That
Yeah.
is the trick of perception 8. And eventually perception 9.
And eventually Perception 9.
We have the elf.
I'm Aerith.
Okay, so she's very surprised that you speak clearly in Cogular dialect.
We come with a
the
very mutual arrangement.
human. Say your name, human.
I will attempt to say I am Leone in Cogular. My
He did
Okay.
have one lesson, so at the
Yeah.
very least, I'm hoping he could say that.
So you can make I think a perception test.
Yep.
We'll say obstacle 2 perception.
That'll do. That'll do.
All right.
Well,
so
he did.
you're able, if you want to log that as a learning
Cogular.
Cogular dialect goblin, you are able to say, "My name is Leon."
Yep.
Wear a hockey helmet.
Okay.
And this is. Say your name.
Crag.
All right.
We have obviously all different here, and have come to see the benefits of working together.
So you're making a persuasion test
Yes.
to get her to...
To get her to-
And if anyone is going to help in any way...
Like the one that speaks Goblin,
Yeah, okay. I'll help.
or you know,
How are you
something.
helping?
I'm pitching in like we have a very like mutual arrangement to offer.
We're talking
Persuasion.
persuasion. Okay.
You have persuasion.
I have persuasion.
You can help me with persuasion.
Yeah. Happy day.
1.
Yep.
So it's up to you who you guys want to be the primary tester. But the lowest this obstacle is going to be, if you're trying to persuade her, is going to be 6.
How about I just do it? Remember I said introduce us, not do all the talking.
Up to you.
I mean, go right ahead and take what you can from me.
So I have my little persuades.
Your persuadertron.
My persuadatron.
Your translator, Tron. Because she's fluent.
She's fluent. You can help with just the language, like
Yeah.
correcting his grammar and stuff like that.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, so you can help him with the language skill. So it would be an obstacle 3 for you,
Happy day.
because you're rolling with the skill.
And do I have Artha? Yeah. Plenty.
Yeah. No.
You're gonna need it.
I have a 6
Oh no.
and a fate point.
And a fate point and a...
Oh.
Okay,
I
okay.
have a 6 and a 3.
Oh no, okay, we need a picture of that, motherfucker.
Wow.
Yeah,
And 6, one dream.
yeah.
A dream to make goblins and humans geese. Now geese.
It's already
Remember-
happened. It can happen again.
Pocket wasn't built for this.
So I think,
I wasn't built for goblins.
firstly, my persuasion goes up because I needed 1 routine test.
Boom, there you go. By the skin of your teeth, that was a successful routine test. Or by the skin of your Artha.
By my Artha.
Okay. Pocket and man harem approach. And persuade their way past the entry guard.
What's a new meaning to man buns?
I'm sorry, what?
What's a new meaning to bad buds?
I mean, this one's bald.
They both have substantial hair.
We all have substantial buns.
I have a beard.
Whose ass is better?
Who's got the best cake in the oven? Ish. Got it. All right.
Is that just
I mean-
shadow?
I think it's Crag.
I think Crag's got some nice man buns.
You think?
Rock hard. Bounce a quarter off of it.
I'll flex each one at a time.
He's got the Mothman ass.
Mothman ass. How many coins? Can you get,
Mothman ass.
how many coins can you get
Are
up
you not
there?
familiar with this statue? Where people keep finding quarters at a time?
Oh, that guy.
I'm
yeah.
not familiar with this somehow.
We showed you.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
People have to ask people to stop putting money in the Mothman's ass.
You know, if they were smart, they would put a credit card reader back there and have it charge like a quarter every
This
swipe.
is Leone running
They
around.
make so much money.
Yeah? Leone, where'd you get all that cake?
No one sees Leone from the back.
There's no junk in that trunk.
Leone running from goblins.
Are you able to send that to me?
But donka donk! Goodness gracious!
Oh, mamma mia.
Hot in here.
That's definitely pleated pant material.
Anyways,
Character trait.
she said, yeah, perhaps. Character trait, die trait, cake. Or call on for seduction. Cake. Anyways, oh boy.
So we get past the garden.
Rather, she says, follow me. And she leads you to the center of the camp. It is masked from view from where you are approaching it, but it is a harder to see ravine. It is, maybe it's more like a gorge, but it's deeper and shorter. And so they have cut narrow pathways along the edge and dug into the walls of the gorge. This reminds you very much of Cogular, because Cogular is basically a huge sinkhole that is very, very deep, and the entire city is just dug into the side of the walls of the sinkhole. So,
Is there anywhere around Surin that they would be able to do this?
that would perhaps be that would definitely be a separate test, but you would either have to research it on a map, ask around with the locals, or find it yourself.
Okay,
But
so I don't offhand know of any.
unless you give me a test, like a Surin-wise.
Yes,
and
I will give you Surin-wise.
Okay, but I'm gonna say that's the good stuff. Obstacle 4.
Yeah.
Ideal location for goblin
Do you have
tribes.
turn ones?
No, I don't.
Oh.
So that would become an obstacle 8. Perception
here.
test.
Oh.
I mean, I'll give you a perception die.
Yeah. That's fine. Do you know of anywhere any cliffs around Surin they could do this? Thank you for your assistance.
I'll help you with perception. Take two
Remember,
dice.
you saw the maps.
I did see the map,
You saw the maps, but that was over a month ago.
and we're also looking at the woods, not Surin. But not good at all.
We're halfway there.
We have 3 successes.
Out of the necessary 8, you do recall a place, yes.
Yes.
It may not be ideal, but you do recall a place. Let me make a quick note of this.
Are you just gonna tell him to sleep in the river?
Nope. But you don't know you failed. You think you know the exact spot for them.
Yes, absolutely. Perfect. You know, I know there's a spot just like this around Surin where they could cut in all of their caves into it.
That's assuming they want to.
The geography around.
And you have no idea where he's talking about. He's
No.
describing it in minute detail, and you're just like, I don't know where that place is.
I don't know where that place is.
It's 5 leagues southwest of that, thing.
He's talking about the underground sewer.
I mean, they do build houses. This is just kind of like a convenience, necessity, familiarity type.
It'll
thing.
be perfect. Don't worry.
I will
They already
omit this
told
from our
The
negotiations.
viceroy that they're going to be outside the.
It's
Wall.
outside the wall, I'm sure of it.
I mean, they may not like it though. You never know. You can show it to them at least.
So she takes you into this gorge, and there's this like winding circular stairway that just goes around the perimeter, and you wind down to the bottom, and it's a really earthy, like fungal smell down here.
Sounds like home.
It is very nostalgic smell for you. You hear the running water of a stream, and at the bottom there's no snow. You catch the smells of cooking and the smoke of fires. You see goblins working. You see some humans that are there as slaves, but they're just doing daily work. They're cooking, they're mending clothes, they're weaving fabric, they're just doing all the things that a community is required to do to survive. And you are led to the bottom, and the goblin woman that led you here, and she had a few goblins leave the gate with the 4 of you, she says, now you wait here. The powerful clan leaders will want to hear your offer. And she leaves, and so it takes a while. When I say a while, you notice the light creeping across the sky. You also know that goblins are primarily nocturnal, just as orcs and hobgoblins are primarily nocturnal. So some of this is you surmise they're being woken up, and some of this is they were out doing things. But after a bit, they, 3 goblins that seem to have a confidence in the way that they stand reach the bottom floor of the main of the gorge, and you notice that there are a lot of spectating eyes, because this is basically, depending on how you look at the gorge, this is like a 5-floor inverse building, if you will.
So basically, plenty of bleachers.
Yes, plenty, where basically people are looking out of their dwellings and workshops to see what's going to happen as these 3 apparent clan leaders have arrived to hear your bargain. Now that said, you've got to go to work in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? Do you want to call it here?
I think this is a great time to pick it up because it's probably going to be a duel of wits, considering.
No.
You know.
And
I wouldn't mind another persona and 2 fate points for this duel.
Okay, well, given that you talked Velthuria into a more amicable agreement with them, take 3 in 1 instead of 2 in 1.
Wait, that was wrong.
And Jade takes
There
another
you go.
fate for making the OB7
Yes.
tracking test, because that was a feat.
That was a feat.
if it wasn't for those 3 6s, I never would have made it.
Yeah. Who knows how long we could have been lost in the wilderness for.
Bottom of their gorge.
Well, you see, the plan was to have the party go out and look for the goblins at the end of winter. 3 years later, and they were returning from the far western lands where they have emerged with a small goblin army intermixed. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Hope to see you next time.
Bye!